He's actually 10th in the standings, so doing a nice job here after moving up from the karting division, just running his own races, getting the good finishes, and making his way to the checkered flag is a way to get the best experience.
22 so far taking times here in the Legend cars, so good turnout there. Bruce Linton himself in attendance tonight, by the way, and got a chance to chat him up earlier. We chatted about the early days of the series here in Indiana, shortly after its creation there in the 80s, and he was talking about how he's kind of regretted he didn't get to do some of the traveling we used to do with these Legend cars, but need talking to him. Some of the early days with this series out here, and they really were interesting. Finding races where we could, people sign on.
But the concept of the thing's still the same. When the cars came out back when Bruce got started in the early days, he decided as a drag racer he wanted to play around on the oval tracks, so he called up, ordered him a car, and boom, the car was there. Then he didn't have to assemble it or anything like that. He bought the car just as it was, like you can now.
They're race ready, good to go.
And then just head to your local track that's running them and start working your way. His home track, thankfully for us, was the Speedrome. And he's been a sponsor of the series now for the last couple of seasons with Bruce Linton Trailer Sales. So glad to have him around, even though the division's been around such a long time. He's been a big part of it in many ways, and you'll see his grandson racing here tonight, Landon Hoffman.
Landon's having a fine good thing. I think Landon finally does have his sea legs as far as these things are concerned. He's starting to pick up some solid finishes, some good runs, led some laps. So definitely Landon's coming to his own on this. And speaking of your juniors, you're talking about here, getting ready for them. Going to have some new faces on the juniors here tonight, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's amazing how, a lot of divisions you see, a few guys move on out of the way. It might take a while to replace those folks. But in the juniors, it seems like if there's one or two that move on to something else, there's four to replace them. And then every week someone new comes along. And a lot of these karts have been recycled and retreaded through different race teams. So they've had a long lifespan and getting more opportunities for kids to get into motorsports and get into racing here at the Speedrome.
And a couple news I'm seeing right now, the bright green 17M, that's Cameron Melson. Talked to him beforehand. He waves to the crowd, which is part of the joy of this whole thing. Seventh grader lives down in Greenwood, and seventh grader down in Whiteland, and he's just had a fun little chat with him beforehand. Used to run with the dirt bikes and that sort of thing. Never really got to race anything, so he's got his chance here in these karts. Real excited. They got a brand new body. His mom picked out the colors.
Nice.
And so they've been rocking it and making it happen for that group.
Well, and mentioning that's just the family aspect of this thing. There might be the one kid driving the kart, but mom and dad and brother and sister are all involved in helping out on the kart, and it's a family project, because when they go to little league or whatever, the kid goes out there with the ball and bat, but not much mom and dad can do with it, but with this deal, helping them work on the kart and pick out the paint schemes and get to the track, it's just a nice family thing,
and they definitely do enjoy it and have a lot of fun with them at it. And this is only I think it's a second night out. He just had a little.
Second or third night out still.
For Melson.
Yeah.
But just a couple of nights as well for the Underwood machine out there. Easton Underwood, the number 20. Another one of the new kids on the block. One we talk about a lot is out there, the number 20. Another number 20 machine of Audrey Freeze. Audrey Freeze, she is in the
90.
90, how is it? There we go. Audrey Freeze in the 90. The reverse of the 09 of Lily Drago. Talked to her and Lily. We're having a lot of fun with nicknames on some of these kids. I've got a new one for one of the new kids, by the way.
All right. We'll stay tuned for that.
He thought that was pretty groovy. But that's the other thing for these guys is to for somebody like Lily Drago in the 09, I think she's getting really tickled at the camaraderie they have with them. Freeze, of course, first night out for Audrey Freeze, wins the feature, her first night out, first time in the car.
Yeah. She'll
be out there in the number 90 machine, the 09 of Lily Drago, or her teammate. Just a really neat little group of folks over there in that operation. The Bliss, whole family, the Bliss family, got Trenton Bliss, the new member in the 36.
Yeah, Gavin's moved on to the senior karts, and now Trenton's taking over the ride, doing a nice job.
Justin doing well. And then you got a couple families been with, and those are new families to the Speedrome.
Yeah.
A couple families been with us for years, though, the Ross kids. We got Nick Ross out there in the 60 machine. His family's been here with the Speedrome with, of course, Brian Luttrell. We had that race.
Yes, that's an easily three-generation family so far.
Yep. So that's been part of the fun of this division. We're bringing a lot of new faces, new names, new families into this one. And, you just take whatever you can get as you can get it. We don't have a whole family, growing up with that garage in the backyard, able to put a 57 Chevy in for Dad to strip out and to go put in the jalopy races at the Speedrome. but you start here.
And that's the things that's just changed over even my lifetime here at the track. You know, I had to wait till I was 16 years old to even get into the pit area. You know, these kids, by the time they're 16 years old, you know, are 9-10-year veterans of speedrome racing by then, you know, and ready to move on into the legend cars or the front-wheel drives or what have you. So it's just amazing how much racing's changed during that, and so exciting to see these youngsters get into motorsports here at the track.
Chris Britton Jr. back again, number 57. They're looking forward to that first big win here for 2025. Britton always been fast for the last couple seasons, just not been able to put it together here in 25. My little gangster, Brian Ross in the 62 machine. Lily Drago 09. Trenton Bliss we talked about already. Nick Ross in the 60, so we got both of the Ross boys. Our new kid in his bright green machine, Cameron Melton. Melton's not doing too bad. He's that sixth quick out of this group. And that's 17M. Easton Underwood turned 17 second laps in the 20. The Ice Queen, Algie Freeze, a little bit slow on the go. 17.145, her best lap. And James Rogers in the 27. None of the kids kind of still getting the hang of things. James just has not been able to get a season put together here. The family, they're working hard, but they've got a couple rough laps. His car's just not up to speed. I'm not sure what Britton is doing going so slow. Oh, they got checkers, that's why.
Yeah, Britton's fast all the time. Just it didn't always luck gone his way. You know, it's a roller coaster ride of a season, but able to get that checkered flag of several that he's had in his career. So we'll wait to get that next group out. Like, we're probably pushing 40 again on the car count for the junior Faskarts. Last I looked, we were in the mid-30s. So, and always put on a good show. 4 heat races, 3 features worth of junior Faskarts here tonight. They're presented by Circle City Pyrotechnics, which we actually have the folks from Circle City Pyrotechnics on hand, because they'll be the ones presenting our fireworks show to cap off the evening. Seen Donnie Ikes back in the pit office when I came in earlier, so he's here to handle the fireworks chores himself, Mr. Circle City himself.
There you go.
So glad to have him on hand, and he's been supporting this division for a long time. It's one of our longest continuous division sponsors here at the track. So they present the Circle City Pyrotechnics back from when his grandkids were racing in the division, you know, many moons ago. So good to have them here.
Good people, always put on a good show. And this is also sort of a reminder, they're one of the sponsors of the division, but they also are a business here in Indianapolis. And one of the things they can put together for you, if you've got one of those corporate deals going on, your summer picnics, your summer get-togethers, they can give you a fireworks show off-season. Also, we've got Diwali coming up for your group, depending on your needs and desires. We've got that covered there as well. We had a couple going on. I know they had a couple going on for Cinco de Mayo celebrations here around central Indiana. But just a thought, fireworks aren't just for 4th of July anymore. So if you're looking for something like that, give him a call.
Yeah, he's done the smallest events to the biggest events in town. I mean, he's done fireworks over at IMS. He's did the downtown show before, you know. So he's done the smallest to the biggest shows and does a great job at no matter what size it is, and do it at a great price for you.
And out of this timeout, we're going to have Levi Smith, who's been very, very rocking at this in the 14X machine. Billy Pittman returns, all 9 figures attached, and 38 to 73 machine. Anthony Johnson, another one of the new kids. Kylie Gully's an old expert. Got a chance to chat up the 97 in black there of Cheyenne Clark, who actually gets to get here in time and get some practice laps. It helps, I guess, Grandpa is retired now.
She's another one that was a quarter midget kid, you know, raced for a long time before joining the junior Faskarts. So,
purple. I stand correct. She got the purple machine now. Missed that. Didn't pay attention to the color of the car.
Yeah, sometimes catches it off with the bodywork, like with the Melson deal already. Had the dark color last week. Now it's a bright green car.
Very excited. Got now one of the new ones on board here. The number 69. That's Levi Snake McDonough. It's going to be Snake McDonough here.
Nice.
Talking to him, he didn't realize that you can get yourself a nickname here. Now we did have to come to agreement with his dad that we're not to explain. I will have fun with the Snake name, but we're not going to explain the 69 number. So just keep it family friendly. So just keep that in mind, folks. We didn't do that joke. 71's out there. Alexander Palmer, another one of the new kids with the other half's Adeline Palmer, the 51. So two more newbies in the group out here running with us here tonight. And then the 73 of Anthony Johnson mentioned before. That's another new kart. Didn't get a chance to chat him up. They're pretty busy. And I don't think he was really ready for an open chat with the Tori Styles announcer persona.
We might save that for a few weeks down the road.
Yeah, we got to ease the kids into that sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
We talk about the family deal. The Palmers running together out here, so they've even got a deal where they're together as a family. But, now they sometimes end up in the same heat or the same feature. So that's fun to compete against your sibling. And they came along, I believe they're friends of the Summers camp down there. So that's what got them into this. And the Summers have been around here for a while. And unfortunately, we're going to be down. Mason's.
Whoa, into the wall goes the snake. Oh, my goodness. It literally did not steer at all for him.
That's not good.
No, that was a bad trip there for McDonough there. The car just steadily drifted right up into the concrete. I'm lost at what happened. Don't know if
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I think the practice was winding up. That group was anyways. I believe the checkered flag was either coming out or just came out.
Yeah, if they go check on him, it looks like he's moving around, etc. But, boy, it's just a shocker. They just literally just drifted up. You got a quick shot of there. On your you want so watching not calling for any medical health assistance or anything like that right now at the scene, just sort of easing into getting him out. It's kind of a scary. This is his first encounter with the Speedrome concrete. You can check out your speedrome.tv, or you can replay this one. By the way, folks, here at the track and wherever you're at, this is, of course, all being recorded live into the YouTube channel, the Speedrome YouTube channel. And you can check the replays there yourself at your leisure.
We had almost 1,000 folks watching our free YouTube feed last week on the first week. But we're excited about that. But we do want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel when you're there. 90% of you that were there did not subscribe, so we'd appreciate a few more of those subscribers on there and tell your friends all about it. But we also had like 600 or 700 people that went back and rewatched it during the week, so that was kind of nice as well. So hope you're enjoying that on the YouTube. And if you don't have a Speedrome TV subscription, hopefully you sign on there so you can watch the races this evening after this free preview.
And still doing also the other special events on the YouTube channel. It's going to take the tough ride there for Snake McDonough. They're off the track in the 16.9. Get a chance to look at that right front corner. And I'm not – the way it just turned right in is what has got me worried. It's almost like a mechanical issue that would not turn for him. And, yep, that's some pretty good damage on that corner.
Yeah.
But, yeah, don't know something went wrong beforehand, but
sometimes when you see things like that, you worry about, maybe if the steering wheel came loose or whatever, but usually that happens the first thing when they come out. He had ran many laps already in that practice, so so I don't think that's a sort of thing.
I guess maybe I'll have to maybe it's a nickname that scared him. I gave him a nickname.
Maybe next round we'll let it slide. We'll just take a break on to next and see how that goes.
Go back to Levi. We'll drop the snake. As already, watch out, the snake will bite you.
Got to leave that on the checklist for a little later.
So we're up to 17 so far, taking some hot laps. Another batch coming out. Got the Gar family in attendance here tonight with the 26 of Emily Gar. There's a 74 Mason Hargraves. Got a 21 E machine. It's going to be Harlan Eads, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And that would be Toby's great-grandson?
Yes, great-grandson.
That's Mark
making
Eads.
His debut here at the Speedrome on the night that his great-grandfather's race is. So that's pretty cool. And his dad, Mark, we'll see him a little later on in the street stock division.
Yep. Nora Hughes in the 19. Lola Arthur is going to be out in the number 88. Walker Hargraves back again, the 47. Shea Burton, another one of the new kids. Talked to him a bit. He's kind of nervous. He's still going to get the hang of it.
Yeah, second night out for Burton.
Yeah. Balin Arthur returns. And, in fact, we've got a 4-car team once again for Nathan Arthur and company. Nathan's going to be, of course, here in his Legend car, so I'm out in hot laps earlier. He's going to have 4 carts to babysit here tonight, as well as his own Legend car.
Somebody we're going to be missing tonight in the junior fast carts, and that's Mason Summers, a veteran of the division, been running up top. I was told earlier that he broke his hand, injured his hand, did something to his hand. Been safe all year long in the junior fast cart, but apparently a BMX accident. Some sort of biking accident that's going to put him on the shelf for a little bit. So we're going to miss Mason here tonight. We like seeing him race. And but we'll just have to keep an eye on brother Jalen in the front-wheel drives. I'm sure Mason will be here to keep an eye on him.
Stick with the 4 wheels, not the 2.
Those racing drivers, you just never know what happens when they leave the track. Got some good competition going on here in this one. Almost heat race style battles here between the group heading down in there into turn 1.
Fast time is still going to be Chris Britton Jr. at 15.951. Not far behind Kylie Gully. Came out. In fact, is she on the track now? That my 42 is out. But whoa!
I think she was in that last wave.
Okay, there we go.
She's due some good luck tonight and some racing at the end as well.
Caden Gully, I think is a little brother, if I recall, out there. A little bit of door banging action happened there for Caden in the 42. Not quite as fast, but Kylie gave us a 16-aught. Had 16-aughts also from Brian Ross. Fourth quick with Cheyenne Clark so far. The 97 with a 16.117. And Levi Smith fast again for the newbie. 16.157. A couple spin there in 1 and 2. Going to include Emily Garr and the 21 of Eads taking a spin over there.
Yeah, first time Eads been out. He practiced a little bit this past week or so, but first time he's been out there with other cars on the track, so I'm sure a pretty fun experience for him.
Nora Hughes pulls the infield. We go checkers.
Something else to keep an eye on.
26 so far taking hot laps.
Tonight is this is the first full week that they're on the new 2025 tire, the Cobra Racing tire. The first 3 events of the season, they were able to use last year's tires or this year's tires, giving everybody a chance to sort of work through their inventory, but this being the full night that everybody will be on the same tire. So we'll see if that plays a role in how things work this evening.
Mason Hargraves takes over the second spot with a 15.983. Nice little battle there for top spot in speeds. Let's see. Kai Gully, Brian Ross, Cheyenne Clark's back to 5th, Smith to 6th. Dragon Lady, Lily Drago, 7th quick at a 16.211. Arlen Eads, nice debut, though, 16.291. 8th quick so far. Shea Burton, another one new kids, 9th quick at a 16.392. And Lola got 10th spot so far, 16.442.
Nice.
For Lola Arthur. And I think,
there may be one more wave.
I'm not
sure.
So. That was 26.
Yeah, I think we were in the 30s I saw last time on the entry list, so it's kind of hard to see them sometimes at the gate over there with this camera view and stuff because they're such a small car that all of a sudden they'll come peeking around the ambulance. Or so, yep, here they come.
Walking down the street, get the funniest looks. Hi, folks. Welcome, race fans. Welcome to Indianapolis Speedrome. Going to have a nice little night. It is going to be an interesting night with some fireworks coming up later on. Mix of a lot of round racing, plus the kidney bean tonight for the factory front-wheel drives. Of course, we've got your concessions available behind the main grandstand. We do remind you, if you're sitting in the Mike Heim auction service section over there in front of his sign, you please do not use any smoking materials, electronic cigarettes alike, and no alcoholic beverages over there. Otherwise, Miss Leslie herself will come down and beat you over the head with a wooden spoon. So you have been warned.
Out in this final group is the points leader, Giovanni Rice, along with Brooklyn Benniger, K.K. Hargraves, Colton Swinford, Peyton Reidner, Cohen West, Corbin West, Jared Gully, and a couple more here. James Rogers, who came out in that first wave, but something mechanically went wrong, so they pushed him right off, and he's now getting an opportunity to run. So
get some hot laps in.
Yep. So Giovanni Rice leading the point standings, yet to make it to victory lane, but been super successful picking up podium finishes and stuff along the way.
Whoa, already tangling here on the pace laps. Peyton Reidner over there tangling up with the number 44 ride.
Mr. Excitement.
Of Colton Swinford. Now, we had to razz the kids are having – now, these kids are basically, they do what kids do. These are largely grade school kids, middle school kids. But had a little meeting of the kids over there in the pits, and we came up with another nickname. Seems Peyton tangled up with Lily Drago.
Uh-oh.
So we might have to start calling her Dragon Slayer. Just saying. Just saying. We'll see what happens.
Some interesting stuff you find out.
I do. It's amazing how soon they'll talk to you. You're the announcer?
Let me tell you about what happened.
Yeah, instead of calling security, they're actually talking to me. That doesn't, that's. And how is Mr. Rice doing? Second quick, 15.973.
He's just been so steady all season long.
Little JoJo Rabbit, I mean, it's really good to see because he's really been shining on his that whole family there. Just quietly sits back there, the whole section of the pits, and he's just been cranking out the W's. But look at the who's fast though. Corbin West in the 0-2. Holy cow.
Last year's Rookie of the Year, and so far our only two-time feature winner in 2025. up to the top of the board.
Red
We got a
flag.
red flag.
Got KK Hargrave's number 31 machine tangling up with the 44 machine, and that was Swinford again. So Swinford continues to bring the excitement.
He does have a new paint job today, though. I see that.
Well, I think he has to. The last one. And there's some reason he just does not like turning all the way left. That seems to be an issue. I'm not sure what's going on there with that operation.
Maybe with the lineage of his family, maybe he's a figure-8 driver.
That could be it.
Yeah, maybe he needs to turn left and right. A lot of figure-8 drivers in his family.
Well, he does have Zach Deaches, too, to learn from. It's nothing like a ginger to get you to go wrong. But
he's an exciting racer himself,
he
so,
does.
we can tab the Mr. Excitement from Colton to Deaches as well from the same family.
Big shout out to Miss Lisa Simmons with us here tonight, watching from the YouTube. Picked up a nice little award from her school there for artistry. If you get a chance to say hey, she's probably up there trying to follow Ben Tunney, what's going on at Paynesville Speedway with Ben. But we thank you for being on board with us here with the YouTube page. And you good people in the stands, appreciate you being with us as well. My good friend over there at the Indy Screen Print Trailer, they did manage to come up with some more Phyllis Tunney shirts for people. We had that Phyllis Tunney Memorial Race here last week, as you know, and a lot of people looking for that Phyllis Tunney shirt. There are more available over at the Indy Screen Print Trailer. Obviously, a lot of my figure-8 folks are not in attendance, but just to let you know,
And for those of you that became unprepared as far as dress this evening, I did see a full rack of hoodies down there. So for those of you that maybe are on the cooler-natured side, and say, wow, I didn't bring enough tonight, head on down there to the Indy Screen Print Trailer in turn number 1. He's got a lot of hoodies for sale as well down there. Tell Don we said hello when you go down there.
Yep. But he's outside turn 1 there behind the bleachers. Also, the concession stands back there. If you need a restroom facilities, got those down there as well as down the south end. We are festival seating if you're new here, so welcome to find you a comfy place. A lot of my backstretch guys, folks, I know you got used to over the years. You had those signs. Well, storm came through, hit hard here on the east side of Indianapolis when it blasted in, and it ended up blasting a bunch of our barns as it came screaming out of the west, knocked bunch of boards loose. Bunch of our friends over there, Eddie Van Meter and the crew with the third turn coming in, and folks pitching in, helping get those fixed again. Do appreciate the people looking out for us, but had to do some repair work, obviously, to some of them. Lost a few here on a permanent basis, but we'll get those replaced on down the line. So I know for you folks, though, on the backstretch, those were your favorite windbreaks. We'll get you restored as soon as we can, but, yep, we got hit hard by the storms here last night, and they came through. I was down Southport. We didn't get blasted too bad. That's interesting. They're actually going to practice them on the kidney bean. Oh, we do have the word that third turn performance is open, and it is the artist herself, Lisa Siemens, running things over there. So, so there you go. You can go over there, congratulate her on her special award. Maybe you can get her to commission you a picture. I have one, by the way, an original. And but she's over there babysitting things at third turn. If you need something, you folks in the pits may need some supplies, water. She's got you covered here today.
Yeah, I seen she's supporting the place over there for that Ben Tunney runs. I seen that Matthew Benson Tunney's up there running in the Mini Outlaws. Good so we'll see how he does in that.
Yep. Junior catching out the number 61. Jacob Daniels back in action, the 177 there. For the Billy Pittman squad. Lillian Morgan is going to be driving the 27.
We'll see how Lillian likes the kidney bean course tonight during her rookie season. First time on the kidney bean course.
She's definitely been on a tough learning curve there for her. Let's see. Doug Underwood's number 17. Car still looks just gorgeous. I mean, shout out there. Done a pretty good job keeping the pieces on. It's got a nice little tire mark, though.
You see that batch of tires there on the back stretch. That's what they need to go underneath. Instead of going down the back straightaway, they're essentially making it like a road course, and that's sort of a hairpin turn back there, which when you look overhead, it's sort of shaped like a kidney bean is where the name comes in.
Yep.
So it makes a right and a left-hander there, so it's interesting to see. A lot of times we see some different winners come up on the kidney bean course. So guys that maybe weren't as prolific on the regular oval course all of a sudden become really good on the kidney bean.
Tosses in that cane, track position, and your willingness to send a guy through the tire or how good you can avoid the tire gets real significant. One car that's always loved the kidney bean, 55 machine of the Duplers.
Yes.
Some reason this has been their race to shine. I think they've had more laps in Kitty Bean than they have in anything else.
And Tori, I don't know if you've looked at the point standings, but Dupler is in the top 3 in the point standings so far in that classic machine.
The devil is ice skating.
So this could be perfect timing, the Kidney Bean course for Dupler
This could
tonight.
be the night to shine. Oh, Lordy. Travis Harmon, Travis Patty, not bad at all, 16.916, first outing there in the 94 machine. Braden Eversole, 17.632, or probably 3.62. There we go. The hatchback, the hatch did pretty good there. 3.33 is Zachary Hall, a 17.442, and Junior Catching gives us 17.6 and change. And let's see, 17.7 for Underwood in the 17, everybody 18 and up. And I just missed that one. Return of Kyle Bird in the 55.
Nice. I didn't catch that either.
Why don't you smack me in the back of the head? Call me silly.
I didn't see it either.
I'll tell you.
Kyle's not been here in quite a while. He's been racing with his son. They've been his son's gotten into racing, and he's been supporting him a lot, so we haven't seen him out here.
Well, he's moved up to the Fords out at the dirt track and traveling a bit. And very successful, by the way. Picked up the season opener, I believe, up there at Circle City and having a nice little season already in the dirt.
But Kyle was always one of the top cats here in the front-wheel drives. One of those guys, too, very sportsman-like, didn't like to mix it up and trade paint. He liked to do it on skill. So he was always a very sportsman-like competitor here and hasn't raced here in a while. So I think he maybe had a grocery getter appearance along the way here or there recently. But as you mentioned, has been over at the dirt track. So good to see him back.
Jalen Summers has Tommy the Monkey riding shotgun on his number 41 machine. Chris Snap back in number 5. Jessica Bush returns in the TL51. Drive it like you told it. Devin Matthews in the 23. Whoopsie, already getting a little dicey there around the tire.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with those tires back there.
No. Jaden Steele again in the number 13 ride, having a pretty good breakout season. And the 22, I got 22 Devin, 23 Kyle Downey. That's where I was checking out there. And it kind of had me stopping to think. Kyle went to that green on the wheels.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought he was running his old Fascart wheels on the thing.
Yeah, Kyle jumped in this car halfway through the program, I believe, last time out. And I'm not sure if he's now the full-time pilot in that ride or not, but that's the second feature in a row he's been in that car.
He's mounting the tires. So he's another one of the guys that basically grew up out here. Of course, his father, Robert, passing away due to injuries suffered in the figure 8 race up in Anderson a while back. And Kyle himself finds his own way.
Kyle was a podium finisher in the Brian Luttrell Memorial Figure 8 one year.
Yep.
And a feature winner in the senior fast karts. So
he has a chance to race a couple of different divisions now. Still hoping to one day land himself, one of the outlaw and be like his father in that regard. I don't know if Mom's all that happy about the idea, but
helps a lot of folks out there, works on a lot of cars in the pit area. So good to see him getting another opportunity to be behind the wheel.
Long time wrench for Brayton Laster.
Yep.
A little bit on the struggle bus from out there. His car just did not go where he wants it to go is one of the issues, especially on that north end there. I was watching a couple of checkered flew on. I
tell you who's exciting to see up there in the top portion of that leaderboard is Jessica Bush.
Third quick on the 51 machine. Good call on that. I missed that one, but boy, she was.
Finally getting those mechanical woes. A couple of races ago, it was a transmission. They got that all together, and then last week had some other mechanical issues. So good to see her running fast once again. Maybe it's the kidney bean course, as we spoke of earlier. Sometimes folks pop up there on the kidney bean course, so good to see her with a nice start to her evening.
It can put the pressure on you. Now, you may wonder, what's the big deal? We run these guys on figure eights and everything else. A lot of these guys still don't have really complete roll cages and setter in their cars. This is still a beginner type of division. And, some will still, I think we still run, a few of them still running in street clothes kind of deal, like the old school stock car rules said. So keep that in mind. We really don't want to expose them too much to a lot of driver door danger and that sort of thing. Kidney Bean's nice little challenge, gives them that left and right hand turn on that back stretch, and makes it kind of interesting there. Again, the tires are in play. This is going to be real important to understand. The tires are. You can feed a guy the tire, and it's all depend. That's part of the name of the game.
Yeah.
So if you're coming in and you got the inside position going through 1 and 2, you're the outside man when it comes to the kidney bean.
Yeah, it sort of has that figure 8 aspect to it where you're switching directions and the inside becomes the outside thing without actually running the figure 8 course. So sometimes you'll see those cars work to the outside of somebody coming off of turn 2 and then be on the inside going around the kidney bean and sort of nudge them over just a little bit towards the infield and get that little bit of a good run into turn 3. Definitely different than a normal night.
Nice little group of those. Time to bring out the Stalkers, though, and boy, they've got a fun night tonight and a nice turnout of cars for Toby Eads.
Yep, and the street stocks, Kevin Smith, former division champion, has won the last 2 events, so he's on top of the mountain as far as wins goes. Jordan Gonder and Scott Keene are tied for the points lead currently.
Yep. Kevin is your defending winner in this event from last year. We do have the return, though, of Casey Victory. Casey just decided, a lot of people wondered what happened to Casey last time out. He decided to take a weekend off, be with family.
Yeah.
That's part of the – these are still hobbyist racers. They're not tied to a contract. They don't have, some want to commit for the season, we understand. And Casey's family, he's got a family. He's got folks to take care of. He decided to do that for a weekend.
Yeah, and as I always tell those folks, racing is always here. So, you have priorities, you have your job, you have your family. Those are very important things, but racing is always going to be here. Yep. And he's somebody we're going to see a lot. Yep. So, taking a week off here and there is
got the modified, he's got the stalker.
Yeah.
He'll be out there. His number 45. Jerry Johnson's number 92. Jordan Gonder's number 3 machine with us. Jordan Hahn back in action, number 26.
Yeah, he came for a tune-up last week, and he'll be ready to go for the win then tonight.
Yep, see what happened. He was the 22 winner of this one.
Yep.
Let's see. Last year's Rookie of the Year, James Fleek is out there at number 98. Jay Mertlow returned in the 09 for my Morgan County Marauders.
Yeah, Donnie Scurry out there in the old Thunderbird.
That's okay.
Donnie's really happy to get on track tonight. He's been having an issue with getting the RPMs up on that, and he thinks he's got a couple thousand more RPMs tonight, so we're going to see how that goes for him.
A couple thousand more RPMs. Go, Donnie, go. Okay. I'll always have fun with Donnie Scurry. I've known too long not to. Oh, yep, some fluid coming off the 15 of Bartholomew. In fact, he got into his own juices there. A couple other guys also. They tried to put a black on. I think it's just a case of too much fuel in the back end, and it is throwing some fluid off the right rear corner, which is usually coming off your fuel cell.
Yeah, he's going to get the black again there, so hopefully he'll pull off there before things get a little too dicey.
Track is going to be kind of green due to all the rain we had, kind of washed off what bit of rubber we were able to build up here the last couple of weeks. We talked about that here off and on with this program here the last couple of times out, and still haven't got that good dark shade. But we won't be seeing that until probably after we have a couple of dry weeks there in July or so.
Yeah, and with last week with the hot temperatures, we were just starting to see it a little bit, but then the weather and the rain and all that's just taking care of it.
Yep. Jordan Gonder, 14.388. Sweet. Kevin Smith, 14.395. Up. Jerry Johnson, 14.387 for the old man. Oh, Lordy. Bob's boy out there flying tonight. That I don't think we've seen Jerry Johnson fast time in a long while.
No. Good to see him get up there. Jerry been around in this division quite. He's one of our guys back from the Nova days.
Yep.
And good to see him with some speed early on.
Yep, looking sweet. 14.387 for Jerry Johnson, 14.388. That's now you talk about comparity. 14.387 for Jerry Johnson, 14.388 for Jordan Gonder. Then go another 100th. You got Kevin Smith at a 14.395. And then you take a bit of a jump there. You got Casey Victory, 14.540. Billy Bart, before being pulled off, 14.820. And James Fleek and Jerry Scurry also in the 15s.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a very competitive night.
Yep, some good speed.
And got another big group coming here with some more tough competitors here in the Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stocks.
Yeah, the mouth of the South Side in this group, Scotty King.
Our co-points leader.
Oh, Lordy.
It's been a while since Scott Keene's been up there in the points, and he's very excited about that. I've seen some folks on social media pretty happy.
He's ice skating and playing hockey. That's what I can tell you on that one. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
Leading rookie there, man. Josh Mann in the 89, partner to Fleek. Your hero, the 21, the Hammer.
The Hammer.
Okay, now I'll let you do the intros there coming. And I'll tell you what. I'll take the yellow one, and you can take the orange and black one. How's that?
All right, go ahead.
One of my personal faves over the decades here. been a regular fan, a regular crewman, just a regular one of the guys in the pits. Sweetheart of a guy. He's happy to tell you he's come back to racing, and he finally has in the 50M, the return of Johnny Monday.
Nice. Great to see Johnny.
Yep.
A nice guy.
Back behind the wheel. And
tonight, making his return to racing in the 44 machine, driving for Mr. John LaFrance, it's Mark Eads Jr.
It's LaFrance.
LaFrance. Mark Eads Jr. piloting that car tonight to help celebrate his grandpa, Toby Eads, here in this race. Mark, former Rookie of the Year in the Outlaw Figure 8 division and a top guy in the street stocks in the past, so good to see him back out here racing. So good to see him race on the night his grandpa's celebrating, also the night that his son makes a debut in the junior Faskarts. So
I was razzing him a bit because I'm also one of the few people that also knows that he's a demolition derby driver. We called him at a couple shows, my favorite being out of Greenfield, the Hancock County Fair a couple years back.
Nice.
So I can say I've called him in just about every division he's raced in now.
Nice. He's looking to pick up a win in this race in honor of his grandfather. I believe he finished second one year to, I believe, the year Jordan Hahn won the race. So good to see him out here for that.
Not been able to pull off the win in this one yet. No. Now, another one I was talking to beforehand, Rex Cox in the 87. He says he's got a 50-50 chance of winning it. He just is. I think a little bit of fire got taken out of him. He really came into 2025 with a lot of steam, and he's kind of bumped his nose on it a few times now.
Yeah, but what he's had is 2 runner-up finishes so far this year, so he could just taste getting that checkered flag here in 2025.
Been that bridesmaid, not quite the bride.
Yeah, and going back to the Eads family always chipping in on the night that we honor Toby of this race. They've added an extra $500 to the winner of tonight's race, so that'll be a nice bump in the paycheck for the driver that wins. So not only would they get the bigger trophy and the prestige of winning one of the major 4 events for the street stock division, but a little extra cash in the pocket will go very well as the Eads family thank them for putting up that extra cash.
And let's see, Adam Sims, 5th quick, the 68 machine. Didn't get a chance to chat about him. 5th quick at a 14.599. Mark debuted out here at 14.781. Competitive. He's in the range he needs to be in. Still needs to pick about another half second if he can find it. Bartholomew, Fleek, Harold Bruce. The Hammer gave us a 14.939. And Rex Cox, 14.962. Bit off the pace for him. Half the field there for tonight. Under the 15-second mark, though.
Yeah, it'll be a good competitive night. What's cool about these street stocks running on the DOT street tires, in these long races, the tires get hot, start to get a little slick out there. So really the driver is big in getting the car to the front and maintaining an average speed and getting to the finish line. It's always fun.
Now, being a big race for these guys, there will be a special qualifying session for them after wrapping up the heat races. A special qualifying for the street stockers, and then there will be no heat races for them. So this is kind of a big thing for these guys to be a chance to shine here tonight.
Yeah, normally a 25-lapper and some 8-lap heat races, but with the 50-lapper tonight, they get their single car qualifying. They'll draw for an invert, and then we'll go 50 laps here for the main event tonight.
And if we still stick by the same program we have been, the second session goes down as their qualifying runs.
So tonight, only 2 classes will use that as their qualifying runs. That would be the Legends, and then also will be the front-wheel drives.
Gotcha.
The Juniors, they use a little different formula to line those races up off the point standing. So as we see the Legends pulling out, and glad you mentioned that these times during this session will be helpful in setting those heat lineups for tonight. And then, of course, the heat races will work towards the feature. And we'll have to see if we have an A and B main here tonight. We've had an A and a B every night so far this season, but there's a few folks taking a little vacation time. They've got other events going on, so we might just be on a car count to give us just an A main tonight. We'll see.
Could be everybody going to make it tonight, but here's going to be where we see the Speed Monkeys because we've got Xavier King out on the track. We've got Corey Adams on the track, Ashton Murrell out on the track. Let's see. Those are the ones that have really been shining on the speed charts. 13.971 for Corey Adams right out of the box. Your defending champion in the 59 machine. Black with the purple numbers on the side. Black with blue numbers. That's the 11 of Ashton Monroe. Ashton, one of the kids grew up here. One of your faves here out of the juniors.
He's had some tough luck so far this season, so he's looking for a real good result tonight. Had the speed, just not the luck.
Had a couple good runs when he went off campus here, so to speak, traveling around. But I think they settled back in, tried to get their program going steady again. Of course, got the maestro. Mark Merrill himself was in the pits today. And as always, he was going to pit, helping everybody he could find out there. A great guy to have in the pits anytime you have, no matter what division he's supporting. He used to coach the juniors, helped a lot of the adult fast karts. Of course, these legend cars, he'll go to any pit you want. The man is a...
And I always blow everybody's mind to the younger kids when I talk to them because they just picture Mark as that mentor and that helper. And then I tell them that he once finished in the top 10 of the 3-hour figure 8 endurance race. And that sort of blows their mind. Yep. So I always like doing that with the younger generation.
Merrill family, another batch has been with us. Kind of always lived in the shadow of, the Wayne Arnolds and the Batunis and whatever else. But steady performers on a regular basis. And like I said, Mark himself, just real proud to know him. Worked with him here at the Speedrome here, and just real excited to see him back in the pits. And like I said, he's immediately throwing down, getting the boards out and the tape measures out for guys, helping with setup.
And you called those 3 there from that practice session. They're atop the board there. But also looking at 4th place there, Landon Hoffman having a nice good lap. We've talked about him needing a little good luck lately. He's been fast, just things just haven't worked out his way, so hopefully that's a good start to his night with a fast qualifying
good
run
there.
So far.
Just shy of the 13s, and did a 14.062, so we'll see how that holds up for him.
Here comes our next wave.
Jordan Aker asking about third turn performance. Hey, with Lisa over there taking care of things, third turn is open today, by the way. Third turn is open. She may be a little bit distracted depending on what she's watching on her phone, but third turn is open today. And we got Skinner out for action. Logan Anderson in his 1A. Kenny Hacker. Kenny had a tough time, I guess, went up to Anderson. It wasn't a happy time up there for him. But back home where he belongs here. Raylan Eder, you talked about him before. He's out there in his number 51.
Yeah, they get wound up now. The green flag is out, so they'll be getting some temperature in those tires and trying to set a nice speed over the next handful of laps.
Fast time is 13.613 for Xavier King so far. One fellow I could see who might knock him off there is going to be Olmstead, all the way up to third quick at a 13.916.
Nice. Former champ of the junior fast kart division, and as you mentioned, wins legend races all over the Midwest.
And down to a 13.774. Second quick now for Olmstead in the 35. Heads down the backstretch, goes on the high side of Travis Cooper's. Yellow cab 27. That slowed him down a bit there to 13.8 and change. Just a tenth of a second down there going around Cooper. Gets into free sailing, dives down. Nice little groove. I really like the groove he runs there.
Eder with a nice, impressive time there.
There
Tori.
you go. Eder in the third. Yep.
As well as Anderson.
Yep. New top 3. Still King on the hot spot, but just a few hundredths ahead of Olmstead. And then you got Anderson out there, third quick at 13.803. Sweet little laps there.
Yeah. Seeing some folks that have ran good so far this season. Just been a notch off that top level. Now putting in those times with those feature-winning competitors. So could have a new face in victory lane here tonight.
Yep. King, though, still dominating here at the Speedrome, still the top dog. And I think he really is with this new generation of legend cars. Xavier does have to stand as being the man on top of the mountain, especially as far as the Speedrome goes.
Yeah, champion a couple of years ago of our points. You know, he's been under the tutelage all of his legend career underneath John Robbins, who's done a great job of teaching him the ropes over the past 4 or 5 years. And he's shown it by maybe not winning as many races as he'd like here, but he's one of those guys that piles up podium finishes. You know, he's always in the mix. You know, maybe doesn't stick the nose in there and tear it off too much, you know, because he knows finishing races is very important.
Rare that Xavier King does not finish. You're right on that one.
Yeah, so he was our point champion, and he's in the mix with the points right now with Corey Adams. Those two are top 2 in the standings after a handful of weeks here at the Speedrome. Still yet to have a repeat winner in the legend cars.
And he was a pretty good figure 8 racer, too, in the mini.
That's right. He took to that pretty quick. And during one track rental, had a ride in Mike Riddle's Outlaw figure 8 car that Mike quickly got him out of because he was very fast and impressive. So, would love to see him in an Outlaw car, just my personal, wanting. But he's very good in the legend cars and could be a top guy for the next 15, 20 years in these cars. this group out here, we've got Nathan Arthur, who's back in the Legend here for a while, Kristen Hammer, Levi Hargraves, Johnny Weaver, who'll be a guy to look for towards the top. We got Chase Penrod out there as well in this group. They're now underway and the green flag is out. Look for Hargraves or Weaver to possibly jump in there, or maybe we'll see some other names pop up there since we've got some new ones so far. Hammer very fast out of the gate, first lap, 6th fastest.
She's what I'm looking at for this. We talked to her about her having a turnaround season. She's that great.
She finished top 5 last time out.
One thing I'm curious, one new kid's now got some experience now is Penrod in the 72. Really, he's only been Chase has showed up a couple times last year.
Yeah.
And
he's one of our longer regular travelers. I think he drives like an hour and a half to get up here. So nice to have him here, and nice to see him picking up the speed as well.
Yep. So getting the hang of things, getting comfortable.
Levi Hargraves in this group jumped up to 4th spot already. Weaver up to 7th. Now bump down a bit as Hammer goes up into the top 5.
Oh, Lordy. So Kristen Hammer, it's going to be Xavier King still at top, Olmsted, and Logan Anderson had a good run there. Kristen Hammer, 4th quick, 13.841. Just a tick ahead of Levi Hargraves, 13.847. Braylon Eder. Boy, our kids are just all growing up all over the place. Check those out. Xavier King now is the old man of the group out of that one. And then we got a bunch of our juniors and our other fast carters.
Yes.
In Olmsted, Anderson, Hammer coming out of the quarter midgets not too long. She had a neat little story about Carson Hosevar, by the way. She almost killed Carson Hosevar one time in the quarter midgets.
Nice.
I'll go. You have to ask her. I'll tell you.
Nice.
So apparently she popped her quarter midget up in the air. Carson Hosevar was acting as a flagman or spotter or something like that, standing too close, and almost. So she almost changed the face of NASCAR racing.
Nice.
Just to let you know.
Well, looking at those times, Tori, 21 cars within 1 second right there.
Yeah.
I mean, how impressive is that? And as you said, there's a mix of, newcomers to the class, veterans of the class, all mixed in right there and all within 1 second there. So pretty awesome to see that there in the Legend cars. Going to be another big competitive night in the Bruce Linton Trailer Sales Legends.
Look for a lot of fun. Another run here for the junior fast carts now. Don't know if we had some more add on to the fun or not. We'll see.
Yep, we'll take a peek to see if our man Levi McDonough makes it back out here in this second round after having a little concrete contact last time. Yep. So we'll keep an eye out for him.
Yep, had a pretty good lick there. I'm not sure if they had the extra parts for that. Now, I did get the word. The folks over third turn, official word, they're open till 7 tonight. Open till 7. Anybody need to, so if you need any stuff out of third turn, get over there by 7. Lisa's in charge. She is taking tips.
She'll be then watching watching Pit Road TV the rest of the evening, I'm sure.
Olivia Simmons and Lisa over there taking care of things, I'm sure. Lee Drago out in this group. Cheyenne Clark. Easton Underwood, one of the newbies. Cameron Melson, another newbie. Trenton Bliss, another newbie. Anthony Johnson, another newbie. Kyle Gully, Alan Palmer, another newbie. And Brian Ross.
So these guys out for their second round of practice. Again, the juniors, these times do not have anything to do with their lineup procedure. So just getting another chance to get tuned back in and get ready for their heat races coming up here not too long after 7 o'clock. So keep an eye on how they're doing. Our newcomer, Mr. Underwood, up to the top of the list so far in that pretty 20 car there.
And these are, once again, if you're new to the group, these are chain pull start, centrifugal clutch, go-karts in essence, classic Briggs and Stratton on board, mix of cages. Some are purpose-built by a couple folks doing them professionally. They were third turn, Johnny Hargraves, a few others. A couple have been around for 10 years or more.
Yeah.
Some of these put together themselves by the folks in the garages, so it's been a lot of fun.
Many of these karts older, actually, than the drivers in the division, as ages 6 through 15 is the age bracket that the kids are allowed to compete in the junior fast karts. So a wide range of youngsters getting into the sport here at the Speedrome.
And Kyle Gully so far fastest in this group at a 15.896. So
she was pretty quick in that first round, if I remember, Tori, somewhere in the top 5, I believe.
Good run for the Gully family. Got a chance to razz Grandpa Mike. One of the fellows that, ran against Toby way back when.
He sure did. Mike was a co-champion of the Roadrunner division in 2004, I believe. And Toby was definitely a big part of the division racing back then. As well as son Mark was probably getting into it about that same time. So, I remember Mike tying for the point standings because I was figuring points out back then. I unfortunately made the mistake of not getting the points right that night, so I didn't know Mike had tied for the points championship until Monday. So I had to apologize to him, and thankfully he was gracious enough to forgive me for that. And we did a nice interview him with next weekend. He tied with Ricky Martin, by the way, for the points championship that night. If you remember,
somebody go live.
If you remember, endlessly La Vida Loca getting played over the PA back then.
There's certain times I like to forget.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Don't. Oh.
As well.
No.
So for those of you that have been around for a couple of decades.
Chris Britton Jr. back out there. This number 57, though, should give us a little speed tonight. Mason Hargrave, 74. Alexander Palmer returns. Adeline Palmer's number 51. Corbin West, still very, very fast. He was our fastest in the first time out. This is 0-2. Uncle Gangster Nick Ross in the 60 machine. Billy Pittman, the second, the 38. Caden Gully. Let's see if he can match Kylie's prowess there in the 42 machine. And the Ice Queen, Audrey Fraze, returns in the 90.
Nice. They get them wound up right here.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's always kind of interesting that these karts do have a centrifugal clutch. They don't take off quickly. Some are geared slightly different than others, but basically everybody's running the same. All of them basically run a lot of the same parts.
Yeah, and you talk about the gearing. There's basically two different gears they run. One gear lets them take off the start because these do start their races from a standing start, and the other gear is more of a top-end type gear.
Yep.
So you kind of got to pick your poison on what you'd like the car to run, either taking off quickly or getting a few more laps to get up to your top speed. So that's kind of how things go here in the junior fast karts. And you'll notice that more when we go to the heat races and the features as they take off the line on who's got which gearing.
Yep. And sometimes it's a big, because a lot of times, for example, the big features, having that launch right at the beginning is pretty significant because you may not have long runs for that top end to come into effect. Other ones, clear sailing.
Yeah, the features that go clean and green all 20 laps, you kind of want to have that long-range gear. But if you're going to have a bunch of restarts, you want the quick start gear.
Corbin West, fast one again. 15.702 improved as the checker's flying.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, he's the only one with multiple feature wins so far in 2025, and looks like he's going to want to get going towards the third one as well tonight.
Kylie Gully still second quick. Mason Hargrave's third quick at 15.902. Cheyenne Clark, 15.915. And Chris Britton Jr., 15.933. Getting back up to speed we were used to seeing him in the last couple seasons. This year, it's been eluding him. Peyton Reiner was out there in the 64 machine. Missed out Sparkles there.
I think a much smoother session than she had the last time. Had a few pesky competitors.
She's got some new things to look forward to. She made the high school cheer team.
Nice, very nice.
Which a great honor. However, it hinges on the fact that she's the easiest to throw and catch.
That's always something interesting, though, with the kids in this division because, once you get to the adults, racing's kind of their thing.
Yep.
These kids being young enough, they're into softball and baseball and football and basketball and, cheerleading and so many other activities along with their racing and their schoolwork. So it's just a lot of things going on.
Bentley Applegate, talked to him, had a heck of a season of theirs, baseball season. He's got like 3-0 on the team. 17 some odd points scored, that kind of stuff. He plays first base. Real excited about that, but also excited about going racing. He's already talking. He's got a little baby sister, not even a year old, ready to put the sister in this fast car. He's going to take over Daddy's Ford. And go figure 8 racing.
Yeah, nice.
Not yet, man.
Nice. Probably not as long as you think, though.
I know.
But that's always amazing because each one of these kids is into something else besides what they're doing in the racing, and they're all different in that fact. So it's always nice to hear that sort of stuff and their accomplishments in other areas of their life.
couple fun ones out there, and that is going to be Nathan Arthur's squad. Saw Brooklyn Vinegar out there, and her number, Brooklyn's in the 87 machine.
Yep.
And Balin Arthur out once again. And Balin's suffering from poison ivy. Okay, I got all the gossip, from the kids today. Went through the pits, and they kept coming up, had more news. Levi Smith out in the number 14 machine. See how well he does this time on the speed charts.
Nice.
First time out for the 33 machine of Cohen West. Missed out the first session. Now, Corbin Bean's fast time. I'm curious to see how Cohen does tonight.
Yeah, in the second season for Cohen.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. Time to beat 15.702. Emily Garr out in this group in the number 28 machine.
One to probably watch in this group would be Mason Hargraves.
Yep.
Or the Hargraves boys, period.
Boys in general. Definitely big turnaround on both of them there, attitude-wise.
Mason Walker got his first career feature win the last time out. Brother Mason finished second. So he's had bragging rights.
Mason up to third quick already to 15.902. There you go.
Yeah.
Levi Smith looking for that seventh quick, a 16.140.
It's amazing how once you get that first win, the confidence that it brings, and the regular speed that seems to come out of folks like that after they get that first win. And that could happen in all divisions, not just the kids.
Corbin, Kylie, Mason, Cheyenne, and Chris Britton for top 5 right now.
This is the third group, I believe, out of 4 that we'll see in practice here. Checkered flag on this wave of junior Faskarts. And as you mentioned, Corbin West still atop the board. Kylie Gully still second. Mason Hargraves from this current group moved up to third. Cheyenne Clark and Chris Britton round out the top 5 from earlier groups there. Cohen West from this group moved up to the 6th spot. Levi Smith also just moved into 7th. Easton Underwood still hanging on to 8th. Brian Ross and Lily Drago, your top 10 so far.
Dragon Lady in the top 10. Woo!
Nice, nice, nice. I believe we have one more wave of juniors here before we get onto the kidney bean course.
Is that a 21E? Yep, it's going to be the Eads machine. Out there in the 21E, black with the number 21 on the side, little E letter. Already had a good run that first time out, so Mark, I think Mason may have a few ideas going on what he wants to do.
Yeah, expectations moving up
Harlan
there.
looking very, very good out there. 44 of Colton Swinford. Shea Burton back out in the number 21. There's Bentley now in his blue number 13 machine.
Yep.
Nora Hughes in the number 19 had to break on the first round, went off to the infield early.
I'm sure Troy and the folks with the Hughes group back there got that straightened back up.
KK Hargraves, the 31. Oh, my little JoJo Bunny, Giovanni Rice out there in number 7.
Yeah, look for him to jump up there quickly into the top of this grid as he's been fast all season long. Taking the green this time by.
Yep. Another batch of factory front wheel drives after this, and then one more round of the street stocks, and that will wrap up practice. At which point we will be ending the freebie here on YouTube. We're going exclusively live worldwide on the Speedrome.tv. And my favorite spinner puppy, KK Hargraves, spins in turn 4, comes to a stop, and we're going to bring out a red, get her out of there.
Yeah, she's not got the cart moving, so maybe the chains come off or something there. We'll send Gerald out there to check on her.
Yeah, the kids are kind of told the international I'm not going anywhere little side wave. Unfortunately, I'm not on camera to show you, but you saw her motioning there.
Sort of the jazz hands panic.
The jazz hands. There you go. Jazz hands panic.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm not. Yep. Gerald give her a pull start, and away she goes. So that's exactly what happened there. When it spun around, the engine just backed up and shut off there, so she wouldn't be able to pull away because there's no starters on these carts, so you need the old arm pull, just like the old push mower.
Now, I did get a laugh. A couple of the adults tried a couple of running a longer cord where they could pull it. So it never did work out too well. With
I'd end up tangled up in that thing before the night was over with or something.
But these are minimal, no suspension in case you have a chance. If you get a chance to get in the pits and visit some of these carts, the kids would be glad to show you. No suspension. And so basically they're feeling and I was shocked how many of them don't even have any cushions. I'm thinking.
Yeah. I think that's something you get away with when you're young. Us folks here, we have plenty of cushions. Joe's sitting up here to call the races.
Yeah. I need a few extras, get the little donut going, maybe a little heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not imagine having to run a junior fast kart. It'd probably put me over the edge in about a half a lap.
Looks like Rice, a little struggle bus there. Oh, wait a minute. Finally shot it up to – there we go. Got up to top 5 that last lap for Giovanni Rice.
Nice.
He's down there 11th quick there, and that his last lap there ripped a 15.913. Good for top 5, 5th quick.
Nice.
Nice runs to Corbin West. Topped him 15.702. Kyle Gully, 15.896. Shea Burton, new kid, 15.899. Mason Hargrave, 15.902. And Giovanni Rice, 15.91 and change. And good little session there for a couple of them.
Yeah, and that'll be the battle to watch because, when they do set up the features, Rice will start tail gunner on the first feature, and Corbin West, I believe, will start next to him. Those being the top 2 in the point standing. So that'll be a fun thing to watch and see if they can work their way through that first main event.
You're sitting back there and wondering what we got going on at the Indianapolis Speedrome here on a Saturday night. Mother Nature's supposed to cooperate. We'll keep our fingers crossed because this is Indiana, and Mother Nature can sometimes be fickle. But big plan, one is we got the 9th annual Toby Eads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9th annual Toby Eads. I double checked. 9th annual Toby Eads for the Stockers. Kidney bean race for the factory front wheel drives. Of course, the juniors you saw already hot lapping, and the legend cars in full force. And, of course, fireworks to wrap up the night. A bit of a fun little treat here. Of course, you always know our fireworks programs here at the Speedrome, legendary. East Side always looks forward to it because people on the East Side get free fireworks. But we're going to have a nice little fun one. Our good friends with Circle City Pyrotechnics back on board. Glad to have you out here, folks. Longtime supporter of this division, the factory of the Junior Fast Kart division. And so a good treat to have them back on board. And who we got? Oh, Mr. Lynch returned in the number 97 tribute. Missed out on the first practice. Also 114 of William Clark Sr. Who else is added on from earlier? That's the only, and it looks like Lynch immediately had the car just die on him. Jeffrey Lynch, everything went south as soon as he came out.
Yeah, hopefully nothing major going on there with Lynch's ride. He's had a decently solid start to the season.
For kind of like the Dupler deal, the car that's just already seen more than a few of its races that you think one of these cars will last that long.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been through the paces. It's definitely looking like Dean Griffin's, his old street stock from way back when.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Maybe the Dean Griffin paint job got scared of those tires out there and said, wait a minute, I've never ran kidney bean.
That's true, didn't he? We did not run that back in the day.
No,
we ran flagpoles.
Dean, I'm sure, was at a few flagpole races. I'd be willing to bet on that.
We did the flagpole and we had
clockwise.
Yep, ran the wrong way.
Yep.
On the oval.
Dean, of course, a regular figure 8 competitor as well.
Yep.
So.
And that family continues with Jeffrey Lynch there showing the way, and it's Travis Harmon again, Fast Cat. 16.780. William Clark gets his way into the top 5. And I saw Jessica Bush, 3rd quick.
Yeah, she's gotten off to a great start here tonight. Up there, I think she was 3rd or 4th in that first round of practice as well. So
good run for her in that number 51 machine as they wrap up that session.
I know you always like to mention the little things with their cars and things like that. I was alerted to something on one of the cars that will be coming out in the second wave here, and that's on the Lillian Morgan machine.
Lillian?
She has Wreck-It Ralph on the car,
okay.
So I was alerted to that. I know you get more of that gossip than I do in the pit area, but I sort of tripped across myself.
I think I jinxed Lillian her first time or two. I talked to her, so I haven't talked to her since, so hopefully she'll do better. But
yeah, so you see her on screen there getting ready to pull off the track. And Wreck-It Ralph on board with the 27.
Wreck-It Ralph on board. Maybe we'll see if it rubs off.
Her first night on the kidney bean course.
Yep. Kyle Downey returns at 23. Jacob Daniels in the 177.
I didn't see him first round right out, so this will be his first trip onto the.
Jacob was with us in the first go round.
Was he in the first round?
Yeah,
I missed him.
He was just kind of quiet. Was just going through the paces. I talked to him. He's having fun with it. That's the key.
Good.
Young kid.
Out of the Pittman stables.
And just trying to get through this first season of regular driving.
Yep.
Turn Jaden Steele's number 13 ride.
Jalen Summers, who from our junior fast kart division, so I guarantee you he's never been on the kidney beat course till tonight, so that's interesting to watch.
I was joking with him. He's going to have to learn something new, and that is actually turning right.
Yeah.
He's never had to do that at speed before.
Yep.
Underwood, number 17, snapping the 5. So
Snap's been good so far this season as well. Had some nice finishes.
In the past couple of years, I'm half one part of it was the whole family was there. The whole family was trying to get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 cars on the track. This time he's been able to concentrate, just getting his program going.
Yeah.
I think that might help him focus.
Yeah, and it showed. He's had some good finishes so far. I think he got second on opening night, and had a few other top 5 runs along with that. So good start for him.
They're working real hard to get some of the family members, and I think that kind of took away from his ability to concentrate on his own efforts.
And I'm sure we'll probably see others out from the family at some point during the season now that he's got his ride sort of going in the right direction.
Old man Snap is still out there in the pits.
Yeah. Yep. Back from the Nova days, speaking of that.
Well, we still have a few.
Someone just shot.
He won't have fast time. Let's see what it does for here when it comes across the stripe here. Let's see.
That was Snap.
It was fast time. He skipped the kidney beam, but the score, the timers caught that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
he was on top there momentarily.
He was fast time there for all of about half a second.
I thought, man, he's got a lot of speed there going into 3. It was because he didn't go around the kidney beam.
He didn't go around the kidney beam, yeah.
Hey, it was worth a shot to see if he could slip through.
And that actually was a problem there. You remember the double flagpoles we used to go? That true headache was we'd have the flagpole on the back stretch, front stretch, and hand scoring. And if your hand scoring is very, very difficult to keep track of the guy who did both flagpoles.
Yeah, especially when the tires get moved a little bit, as they tend to during some of those races.
Especially if you have like a John George or some of the others out there. Yeah. Now, who's the one that moved it all the way across the track last time?
I remember a guy that used to move him around. That was Brad Bonenkamp.
Yep.
He would move that around a little bit as well.
That's because he'd forget his glasses some nights. Our friend Nisa K checking in from Florida once again. Welcome. As we are worldwide live right now on the YouTube on a freebie.
Zach Hall pretty quick in that session
Zach Hall,
as well.
The hatch working good for the 333.
I think he's one that likes the kidney bean course as well.
He does. He likes anything that's the 333, 420, whatever it might take. But he's always been a bit his own little drummer.
The world's smallest paddy wagon.
Yeah. And bringing out the track truck. Not sure.
I think maybe just getting them back on track. They avoid staying in the infield when we have the kidney bean
Good
deal,
point.
you know.
Well, if you remember, we used to put them down on either tire drain north and south end.
Yeah.
And they figure they haven't really lost a track truck since it was mine. Don Burke, thank you very much. I
do remember a restart in a Pro Stock Figure 8, Darren Sizemore hitting the pace car.
That's true.
One time, trying to get an early start on the pace car, and kind of got tangled up back there on that. That one sticks in my mind a bit. Yep. One last class left to practice here this afternoon.
This is the stock class, and again, keep in mind they will have their own special qualifying session later on after the heat races.
Yeah, just one lap apiece for single car qualifying, so we'll whip through those cars pretty fast during that qualifying session. But, these special events for them, we like to give them the single car qualifying. They have 4 majors during the season. We've already had the Brian Luttrell race that Kevin Smith was victorious in. Yep. And this is the second of those 4 crown jewels for the Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stocks in the Toby Eads Memorial 50.
And speaking of which, we got one big one coming up for our Outlaw Late Models Spring Shootout coming up.
Yeah, next Saturday night, the Spring Shootout will bring all the best Outlaw Figure 8 drivers here from the Midwest here for this. I'll go ahead and say it right now that, you've noticed that the scoreboard has been off all season long. We had some lightning and weather damage with that over the winter time and been working on getting a replacement, and we will have a replacement here this season. It's just unfortunately not going to make it for next weekend, so we're not going to use that as a clock. So instead of having 90 minutes, we're going to go 250 laps next Saturday night, which is going to be a great race for the Outlaw Figure 8 cars next Saturday night.
A fixed distance should be interesting. Again, this will be a Friday, Saturday program next weekend. Friday will be Junior Fast Karts, Senior Fast Karts. The Ford's going to have a 40-lap oval for the Fords on the roundy round. And then, of course, Saturday, Spring Shootout, 90-minute outlaw figure 8 race, as well as street stocks. The Fords have a 40-lap figure 8, and the Mini Outlaws be on board for oval and figure 8 racing. So full card racing next Saturday night, full weekend of racing next Friday and Saturday. And then, of course, right in there we go May 31st. Take a bit of breather for the Outlaws because we're going to have a wild night here at the Speedrome.
Oh, and got some good stuff ahead for them. We were testing a new form of the short course figure 8 yesterday afternoon out here on the track. So you folks want to be on hand May 31st for that. So that should be interesting as we cap off the grocery getter night with the short course figure 8.
Okay. Kidney beans, flagpole, Junior Fast Karts, Senior Fast Karts, trailer figure 8, school bus figure 8, Ford's on powder puff, and I guess we will have to reinstate my old rule on that one. Biological females only, right? No Dylan Mulvaney's. No, don't come in.
No. I'm sure Teresa Sloan's back there looking for a ride now.
There
she
we go.
would compete in the factory front wheel drive, or when we'd have powder puff street stock races.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes, folks like that. So we'll see how that goes. The first time we've ever had a powder puff for the Fords.
Fords, yep. And I guess we can. I'm not sure if because we are still a private event, we do not receive public funds. I think we may be allowed to make it a biological female only. Scott, you're in charge of the checks. you're going to be the inspector.
Casey Victory fastest in that first round of street stock practice here during this wave. Still got a lot of other cars to come out and get their final tune-ups for tonight's Toby Eads Memorial 50.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying Olivia Siemens is planning on getting a ride for that one, by the way. We're trying to find a ride for Peyton Ridner. If we can find a Ford ride for Peyton Ridner, we'll see. We'll get all my favorite kids from the juniors. How's that?
That'll be fun.
Eric. So your Ford daddies and big brothers, now's your chance. Give up your ride.
Henry McDougal out this round. I don't believe I saw him first time out.
In the
27?
27. Nope, he was not. Mertlow was. Monday was.
Kenny McDonough.
He was out in the first one. I don't think Edwards or Darrell Emanuel was out in the first group, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that as well. But
he's talking about this may be his final season. After 10 years of racing with us here, he's talking maybe time. He and Carl thinking of going camping.
Nice.
Carl says he's getting kind of ready to, maybe sit by the fire instead of trying to get the engine to fire. So
we're underway here in this final group of final practice here this afternoon. I want to remind those folks that are watching our free preview on our YouTube channel that will be going off air once practice is done. So to continue watching this evening, you'll need to subscribe to speedrome.tv. I advise getting the monthly subscription. It's the best deal, $39.99. It'll get you all races for 30 days. That'll include next weekend's spring shootout, as well as the Wild Night coming up the week after that. So tonight would be a great night to sign up for that and get the ball rolling on your subscription.
It also gives you all the archives of all the previous events. So take a look at Scott Keene out there.
Our co-point leader.
I'll tell you. And I think this is Keene's best season ever.
Yeah, he's got a couple of third-place finishes and a fifth, I think, is his 3 finishes so far. I mean, not being out of the top 5 is pretty solid to start the year off, and I'm sure he'll be getting anxious to get to victory lane as well.
Yep, curious he's going to finally get that monkey off his back. Taking a look at Justin Green and the, whatchamacallit, 52 machine, the 57 Chevy Classic or Dodge Classic. Take your pick. Classic Express, there we go, I think it was, Delivery Express. And that is, of course, a reflection on the rules of the division. Basically, we let them do what they want on the body. Give you a little leeway, but keep it looking like a car of some model here of street car. Because, quite simply, buying these bodies gets pretty expensive.
Somebody that I'm happy to see, you mentioned in the first practice session, made it through both practice sessions, Johnny Mundy, in his return to racing.
He has, and has not broke down yet, has not hit the wall, has not hit anybody else that I know of.
Yeah.
And that's, for him, that's pretty good.
Yeah, good to see him back, so hopefully he'll make it through the evening.
17th quick on the charts there, looking good in this session.
Yeah, top 20.
Yep, top 20. Casey Victor, though, fastest. Look that up. Now check out past 2 champions in the division, and Adam Sims, who finally everything just come together for Sims here.
Yeah, rookie of the year a couple of years ago. Got his first feature win last year on a Friday night, I remember.
Yep.
Did a good job in that and finished, I think, 5th in the points last season. So Adam Sims, a nice speed so far in practice.
Sandwiched right in there between Jordan Gonder and Mark Eads Jr. in the borrowed car.
Yeah, great, a mix of drivers and cars there. So it should be an exciting night in the Shelbyville Auto Parts Street Stocks.
And we are wrapping up the practice. Yep, scheduled to wrap up practice at 6:30. Go with the drivers' meeting at 6:40.